Hey everybody, welcome into another video. I know I've been kind of pumping them out lately. I've just had some free time, so I've been making some videos, and yeah, I don't have a ton of time, but I wanted to watch a replay of a match I just played. Yeah, see what we can glean from it. So this is a warrior mirror match. Essentially, he's playing more like chaos type warriors, and I'm on regular warriors. Pretty standard build, except I have one Tsukiyomi in the main. I'm trying some weird stuff out. So I see Kaiku and I see the Thunder Dragon, so I assume that this is Chaos Turbo. My thinking is I want to get in with this Donzalug, but I want to be able to clear the Kaiku first. Really, that's kind of idealistic thinking, because most of the time, even if I clear the Kaiku, he's going to have a set to put down next turn. I won't have an answer to the set, so I don't know what the actual answer is to do here. I mean, you could possibly set DD Warrior Lady, then set your hand, but then you make their knock live. I mean, maybe the best solution would be to just not do anything, and then just set everything, and then get rid of the Kaiku with Saku, and then swing over whatever face down they have with DD Warrior Lady. I mean, we don't have an answer to any really power flips or anything, but the least we could do is banish a Sangan or a Serpent or something off of the Kaiku, or off of the DD Warrior Lady, excuse me. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just trying to get rid of this, and he goes Raigeki Break. Then we'll set our hand. I wouldn't always set the hand there, but we have double Solemn, so I think it's okay. All right, he sets one. Like I said, I should have known that he would just set one back, and so I wouldn't be able to get a free hit in with this Dawn. This is where I make a mistake in the end phase. I decide to dust this. I feel like this is sometimes the mind games that come in with higher level warrior mirror matches, not so fast as a good duelist, and he knows that when a warrior player, I know he plays warriors himself, I think he did really good in the 3v3 tournament recently with it, and I think he knows that when a warrior player sets multiple back rows like this, that one of them is probably Dust Tornado or some type of spell trap removal, so he sets the knock to bait it out early. That's pretty smart. I'm curious if he had any other defensive traps, so I'm going to look at his hand real quick. No, he did not. So I don't know if it was a case of he was trying to bait the knock, or if he was trying to, bait me to waste my dust on the knock, but regardless, it works. It would be even more next level if he had another trap in his hand that he didn't use because he wanted to make sure I dusted his Nobleman, which obviously is pretty much dead in this matchup, besides the one Magician of Faith I run. So he summons the Donzalug. I make the decision to not Solemn this. I just feel like it's going to put me behind. And this is where I was a little confused, because I see the Donzalug and I wasn't really expecting it. I mean, my Donzalug is not doing much at this point. I have a face down to get through. I have another Donzalug to get through. I just don't feel like it's providing me a ton of value right now, and I need to kind of get into this game. So he sets one, Ring of Destruction. It's nice. Then he flips up Mystic Swordsman level 2. Yeah, I just let these both go through. I mean, if I can top deck any monster virtually, virtually any monster will be able to get over any of this. I have Light and Dark and Grave for BLS. If any monster will get over any of this stuff, so I'm not super concerned yet about having to use stuff. Obviously, my life is getting low. That's a concern. And then we grab a Breaker, which is a great pickup. So pop the back row. It's a Book of Moon. I want to keep pushing the initiative here. I have a chance to get some nice +1s, so I'm going to go ahead and Solemn that. I have another Solemn behind and more backup. Ring while I'm low kind of sucks. It could, potentially not do anything. He summons Tribe. This is an interesting spot. What would you do? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments. I decide to Solemn this because otherwise what I'm going to have to do is, if I don't Solemn this, he will pitch something off of Tribe. He'll pitch a free Thunder Dragon, then he'll kill, so that'll kill Breaker. Then I'll have to ring. Yeah, I die anyway, so I have to do this. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. I thought for some reason if I ring this and take the attack that I would still have enough to live, but that's not the case. So yeah, So I guess I made the right play regardless. He summons Sorcerer, and we're pretty far behind here. This ring's doing nothing for us. This is kind of a theme I've noticed throughout this match, is just, yeah, this thing's not doing much. All right. So I decide to at least try to get some value out of the ring. Sorry, one moment. Yeah, so I try to get at least some value out of the ring by doing that. No point, I don't think, in heavying yet. I mean, we're in a really bad spot regardless. I'd at least try to. If I'm going to get back into this game, I'm going to need to get some serious pluses. So I'm going to try to get at least a +1 with this heavy. And we're just going to set the level 2 to protect ourselves. It's also just not good in this matchup anyway. Though I'm still unsure of what exactly he's playing because, you know, I see the Thunder Dragons and stuff. Okay, so he had it in. Interestingly enough, when he summoned the Sorcerer originally, I thought that he made a mistake by summoning it in defense, and yeah, I mean, I guess technically it was, but then he turns it to attack to kill the Swordsman, and then that's when I draw into the Sasuke. So I go ahead and heavy. I'm just gonna have to set to protect myself. Not really any choices here to make. Set the Faith, and we're just dead. All right. Next game, I side in a bunch of battle traps. I side in one Zombira, one Berserk Gorilla. I don't have any spies in the side. Maybe that's something I should do. Normally when I play warriors, I side into spies for the mirror match, but I did not. This is an interesting opening hand. I don't have any good opening plays really. I mean, I could just set Saku and pass, but I'm going to try to be a little more proactive here. We got the first start, we're starting off first. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to Rhoda for the DD Warrior Lady, and I immediately set the Faith to maybe look like I set the DD Warrior Lady, and then I'm going to set the Sakuretsu behind in case of a Blade Knight or something like that. I assume he sided out Mystic Swordsman level 2. Yeah, I'm just trying to bait this to make it look like a DD Warrior Lady. That way I can get another, I can access the Warrior toolbox again with Rhoda. Rhoda is like it's one of the things that's cool about this one-off Faith is you can recycle your Rhoda, and it just gives you access to that toolbox for whatever situation you need. Leads off with Pot. I was pretty tilted at this point already because the last game just didn't go our way, and then he starts off with Pot, but I just got to remember just to keep a cool head. Sometimes, like, I think I'm getting close to needing maybe like a couple weeks of break from the Yugs just to reset. When this game, like, it's always like when you're getting back into it for the first few weeks, it's very easy for me to have a really good time and never get frustrated, but it's when I'm grinding a lot near the end of that grinding period, I feel like I get more easily frustrated and it affects my play. So playing a live tournament this weekend, then I'll probably take a week or two off and then I'll get back to it. So a couple choices to make here. I could have flipped the Faith first. Maybe I probably should have flipped the Faith first, but I wanted the info on what he had set off of the Exiled Force because that might change my opinion on what I get off of the Rhoda. But at the same time, I wouldn't have activated the Rhoda yet anyway. So I think flipping Faith first is the actual play to make. So Exiled, we'll get the Rhoda, and a couple options here. I can go Rhoda for Donzalug, but I have a feeling he probably sided into some battle traps himself. So instead, I just attack with the Faith. I don't quite agree with this. I think I normal summon the Exile. That's right. Never mind. So yeah, that all makes sense. This is playing into Heavy Storm a little bit, but I really would like either this Dust or this 7-tool set so that I can so that it can allow myself to get more aggressive next turn. I don't think this is a pro heavy, but if he heavies and we just trade 1-for-1 with all this stuff, that's okay. I've still got the battle trap and the spell trap removal behind and a lot of access to what I need. He goes Donzalug. Can't let this go through. I don't want to lose a card, so Sakuretsu doing its work. Then we draw into Breaker. I'm going to go ahead and break this back row. I have a feeling it's some sort of battle trap, and it is. Probably should have turned the Faith to defense instead of attacking in for 300. he heavies, which it's good. I thought about setting something else behind. I'm lucky that I didn't, or else I would have really gotten screwed by that. This is okay. He, trades a lot of stuff off. He's investing a lot of resources into this push, and luckily we can kind of weather the storm. This is a pretty aggressive Kaiku play because he had Donzaluk and Grave. I'm curious why he didn't go for that. I think that would have been stronger. Well, he didn't know that we had DD Warrior Lady, which could just attack over the Donzaluk. So this should indicate to me that he doesn't have any battle traps. Let's check. No, he does. Okay, interesting. I don't know why you wouldn't go Donzaluk, because then I could go DD Warrior Lady. You could you can make me lose a card, then you could Saku whenever I come over the top with that. So I don't know. Sorry, I'm going a little quick. Decide to set the DD Warrior Lady in pass. Oh, and I'll set I'll set these as well. We know the Heavy Storm's gone. This just gives me a lot of versatility to decide what I want to do. I know that he doesn't have a Nobleman or anything like that, and I can decide if I want to banish off of this, or if I want to use Ring, or it kind of just gives me a lot of versatility depending on what he does. I can kind of respond in turn. So he decides to put the tribe into defense, which I thought was really interesting. So that would obviously indicate that this is not a solemn. Not obviously, but it would most likely indicate this isn't a solemn, because you would solemn if you're swinging into a potential Mirror Force or something like that. But the fact that he puts this tribe into defense makes me want to deal with the Kaiku as soon as possible, because then I can get a nice +1 next turn by coming over the top with the DD War Lady, if everything goes according to plan. So we'll kill the Kaiku. End phase, hit the new set, which was a dust. I saw that Mirror Force is gone, so my only real fear is Torrential, but at the end of the day, Torrential's not that bad, so I definitely should have summoned Donzaluk here, or something else off of Rhoda. Probably the Donzaluk. I had a chance to get more aggressive there, and I should have taken it. So now I'm going to set the Donzaluk, because we'll have another monster next turn with Rhoda, so I wanted to make sure that I get, take advantage of my normal summon every turn. That's what Warriors wants to do. And so then we're going to be forced to ring, but that's okay. We'll have the Dawn for pressure. Again, he sets 2, and I decide to summon the Dawn. I decide not to bring out another monster alongside it, and maybe should have done that. I'm just really wary of Torrential, because earlier, if Torrential happens with the DD Warrior Lady, it's not the end of the world, but if I get my whatever monster I bring off of Rhoda Torrential, that could be pretty backbreaking, and next turn we'll be able to do that with the Solemn. So let's go ahead and get in here for 14. Normally against Warriors I use the second effect, but I didn't this time because I know he's playing more of a Chaos variation. He didn't have any Lights and Graves. I don't want him to get that. So we'll set both. Maybe there's an argument not to set the Rhoda, but I was wary of an end phase Dust Tornado and didn't want to catch the Solemn, but I wouldn't want it to catch the Rhoda either. So that's not really good logic. I have the Solemn to back up any plays that I want to make. I mean, and I'm willing to just trade 1-for-1 with one of his battle traps. I know that Mirror Force is gone, so if he has a Torrential, I Solemn. If it's if he has a battle trap, I'll maybe Solemn, or I could maybe let it go through. It depends. So I'll go ahead and just go for the game shot here. And the fact that he uses the newest set, I believe this was the newest set, made me think that these are both blanks. And I'm going to go ahead and Solemn. That's a little, maybe an aggressive Solemn. What did he have set? He had Snatch and another Solemn. Yeah, so if he Solemn's back, he loses anyway. So, all right, on to game 3. I feel like we played pretty good that game. We were able to overcome him with the pot early. Yeah, on to game 3. Just sets 1. What would that indicate to me? Probably like a battle trap. Maybe a Dust Tornado. My thinking here with this hand is I don't want to Graceful yet. I kind of want to see what we're working with first. So I'm going to just summon the Dawn and hope, take the chance that this is a Dust Tornado. If it's a Dust Tornado, then we get a nice free +1 for no reason. And if it's a Battle Trap, I'm content to trade my Dawn with the Battle Trap. Ring. We'll set the ring, yeah, just to protect against his own Donzalug. He sets 2. Probably more battle traps. Maybe another dust tornado here. Then I decide to graceful. I want to keep applying pressure, so I'm looking for Blade Knight. I'm looking for Sasuke. I'm looking for anything really, and this also makes the Faith live. This is where I think I made the biggest mistake of the game, deciding what to discard. A lot of choices here. I don't know. Tribe is really important. It's important in Warriors. It's not as good as in other decks. I just don't feel like it. Tribe is necessary because of the prevalence of Gravekeeper Spy, but I haven't seen any Gravekeeper Spy from him yet, and basically you use it to trade one of your discards for their monster on the field. But then usually the next turn it'll get run over by something else. I just don't feel like Tribe is that good in the Warrior Mirror match. That's all I'm going to say. So that's my justification for ditching the Tribe. Like, I like all of these cards more. I just feel like they all trade one for one better with their monsters. Snatch is amazing. Breaker is really nice into these 2 back row to force out some stuff. Like the Sakuretsus are amazing. Blade Knight will be really good once we are able to get rid of some of these monsters in our hand. And I don't really remember what the second discard was. I was leaning either between Saku or one of the Sakus and either Breaker or Blade Knight. I wanted to keep the Faith just to go for this next turn, to try to recycle our Graceful. So I go with the Blade Knight because we got more Blade Knights in the deck, got another 2, so it's not the end of the world losing that. And that also puts a light in Grave. So then I set the Faith, set the Saku. We'll hold on to the other Saku for later. Exiled. Okay, that's fine. So game state's pretty similar here, both at 6 cards. We're just gonna go ahead and rip the duo as soon as we have it. I mean, I think the smarter play would be to go Breaker, and maybe hit a Solemn and then do the duo. I think that's the better order of operations. All right, we hit Heavy and Book of Moon, so we know that our Heavy's clean, and then this Breaker's able to get in and trade 1 for 1 with a Torrential. Cool, that's good with me. So DD Warrior Lady, we'll just go ahead and we take it. Okay, so I decided to take it because I want to use the Snatch Steal. Snatch Steal on DD Warrior Lady is just such a good problem. You basically just go +1 for free because they're gonna have to use one of their cards to deal with DD Warrior Lady. So for Snatch Steal, you get rid of their DD Warrior Lady and another card. So yeah, I think this is fine. And if he has some sort of spell trap removal, he has to trade it with the Snatch Steal, and then we'll be able to Saku the DD Warrior Lady next turn. The only concern is if he goes into Spy or something, which we haven't seen Spy yet. He goes Pot. Okay. Then sets 2. It's interesting that he would set something into the CD Warrior Lady. Because normally if Warriors are going to set something, it's either a DD Warrior Lady of their own or like a Donzalug or something, but you wouldn't set Donzalug into this. Or he might have a battle trap to deal with the DD Warrior Lady. But regardless, we're just going to attack it and we're going to banish whatever he's dealing with, unless it's a Spy potentially, but still probably then. So then he uses the Saku, which is fine. And then main phase 2, we'll use the Exiled to get rid of whatever he has. We might not have had to do that yet. I mean, I could have honestly just waited till next turn, but I was concerned about some sort of flip, like maybe a Magician of Faith or something like that. So it's 1. We draw into the Tsukiyomi, which is really not doing a whole lot for us here, so I'm just gonna pass. I mean, I really do like it in the Warrior Mirror match, but maybe not against this version with Skilled Dark and stuff in it. It's often not going to go through. He sets 1. And then I go ahead and go for the BLS. I mean, right now we have 5, 6, 7 cards to his 5 cards. And I'm just going to keep taking those pluses all day. You know, I don't mind dumping my BLS early, knowing that something's probably going to happen to it just to get another +1. I'm just trying to push my advantage and keep going. I don't think this is a horrible play at all. And yeah, so and yeah, we get a nice free +1 on the spy. Yeah, I realize now that he sided into spy, which is good to be aware of. Probably should have considered going Tsukiyomi to put the Black Luster Soldier face down because of snatch potentially, but my thinking is that if he snatches I can ring, but then that puts me really low and I can potentially get killed with some sort of spell trap removal and a monster. So yeah, probably should have put the BLS face down. He hits the Saku. Yet again, I have this ring that is good, but at the same time, it could potentially put me low. And I mean, you always want to save ring for later in the game when you can get that nice, game shot with it. But at the same time, I kind of wished I would have used it earlier on like the DD Warrior Lady or, other threats. He hits the Sook, which is doing nothing, and then we'll get rid of the worst of our battle traps. He rings. We'll take 3,000. And he sets 2. In a pretty good spot here, I feel like. I mean, we're 4 cards to his 2. We're basically up. We're up 1 card because he'll obviously draw for turn. So I'm just going to set both of these, knowing that heavy is gone. Correct, heavy is gone. Yes. I'm going to dust the new one. Maybe this was a mistake because if he was doing those kind of mind games or like earlier with that nobleman where things got a little tricky, then it could have been bad. But anyway, we dust Tornado End Phase, trade those, that's fine. Call's really nice because it allows me to potentially tribute for Mobius. This is where things really went wrong for me. I feel like I had game in the bag here, and let's see how I fumble this. Yeah, I was pretty happy with the way I played this so far. This is crazy. Like I played, my last 2 videos, I played Turbo, and the last 2 games I played Turbo, and I just feel so much more comfortable on Warriors. It's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, so he goes Rhoda. I actually have to go here in about 2 minutes. So he goes into Donnie. What to do here? I want to save the ring for later, so I go ahead and Mirror Force. There's also the option to just go ahead and call the Haunted, like the BLS, and then just have it there, and then I can double attack over next turn. And I should have done that. I mean, I think I just got so overwhelmed by choice. So my thinking here is I'll go BLS. Yeah, I don't know. I really just fumbled the bag here. This is like the most crucial part of the game, and I'm having to kind of go through it pretty quickly. So my thinking was that if I Prima, I can attack. I'll hit something, and then I can call a Haunted it and get in for another 3,000. And I was thinking too that I could. I was trying to find a way where, because earlier I had more life, I was trying to find a way where I could have called something. If I didn't use the Prima, I had enough life where I could have call a Haunted this, I could have tributed it off. Yeah, he had both battle traps. That would have won me the game. I could have tributed this off, destroyed his battle taps, attacked with Mobius, and I would have been out of ring range on the Mobius. So that's the crucial misstep right there. Anyways, gotta run. Good game. We really screwed that one up. I'll let it play out so you can kind of see what happened. Eats a Mirror Force. We have a ring. That is just unfortunate timing. Oh, shoot. That was a draw. Holy moly. And then I fumble game 3. Game 4. I completely forgot. I thought this went 3 games. And then game 3, I just get absolutely sacked. So, that's all there is to it. Should have been more prepared for that. Shouldn't have got rid of the tribe because that could have dealt with the other stuff. But yeah, that was it. Anyway, I'm hopping off. See you guys later. Bye bye.